Let you guys see this. Welcome back to 13C. Today, the VERS 9 from Bowers. Now, most of what we're going to talk about in this video is going to encompass the VERS 9 in both its standard format and then in its 300 Blackout upgrade format. This one is the 300, has the 300 Blackout upgrade, meaning that the regular VERS 9, you can shoot subsonic 300 Blackout through it. If you want to shoot supersonic and all the way up to 2200 feet per second through this, you're going to want to go with that Blackout optional upgrade to the baffle stack and whatever kind of magic they work in here so that you can shoot those higher pressure rounds through it. That's what I opted for. If you're clicking on this and you're like, I think he did a Bowers VERS 9 video like 2 years ago. I did, but that was on the 9S, which is the shorter version. This is the longer version, and this one is mine. I did the transfer through Silencer Shop, but this is one of my personal cans. And we'll get into some of the reasons why I went with the longer, fuller volume over that 9S. The 9S sounds fantastic, and for the most part is going to perform pretty much just as well as its bigger brother here. Oh, there's nothing like little full auto MP5 action. This is the Bowers VERS 9S. All you're hearing is the action. One of the reasons why I went with this bigger one was I wanted maximum volume, I wanted maximum suppression, as well as I wanted it to sound fantastic when I shot 300 Blackout subs. We'll run a lot of this footage in here as we go. But for those of you guys who have tried, and we're gonna get into specifics of this can, but we had a lot of questions on 300 Blackout. We get tons of them, so I want to knock that question out of the gate here. 300 Blackout has about twice as much powder as 9mm. Remember, this is the purpose of this is a high volume, heavy sustained, according to them, heavy sustained full auto fire can, especially for subguns, right? So if you're shooting like a Mac 11, right, and you're dumping a ton of rounds through it really fast, select fire one, there is a ton of gas that you're generating in that. And having the longer can helps to handle that and disperse the gases. It's not just for also sound reduction, but it's also getting some of that gas as it builds up. If you've shot a lot of high volume stuff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, we'll probably get into that in another video. I don't want to get too far off on tangent here, but that's one of the reasons why this can shines so much, especially in its larger configuration. If you're shooting a lot of, Uzi, Mac 11, stuff like that, that's where it's going to shine. We've got it on 9mm. This is a quarter circle 10 builder's kit here that you see here. We did a standalone video on this pistol probably about 2-ish months ago, and we run the hell out of it, and we're continuing to run the hell out of it. So if you want to check out more and learn more about this setup here, it's a fantastic setup, extremely reliable, and the beauty of it with their setup here, and we'll put a picture in here so you can see it better, that mates up perfectly, beautifully. You can get your wrench in there if you need to tighten it down, if you want to really crank down on it or not. Generally speaking, you just want to hand snug it. You don't want to like torture crank these things on there, but as you guys know, you put things on, decent hand tightness, they get hot, but when they cool down, the expansion, sometimes you need to put a wrench flat on there, and it comes, the VERS comes with the proper wrench flat adjustment here to get that off there. We'll get into some of that in a minute. Well, why not get into it right now? So anyway, 11 1/4 inches on this can. This is a long can, and again, this is volume is what you're going for here. And that's why I opted to go with this. The other one that I tested, that VERS 9S, what came in from our friends at Silencer Shop, and of course that went back after 2 weeks, so I wasn't able to hold on to it, and I was up in the air as to which one to get, but I decided for this, I really wanted I wanted the bigger brother for that. I wanted to be able to do it. I could have went with a VERS 9S and been perfectly happy with it. Sound-wise, especially on 9mm, you really wouldn't be able to tell the difference. The extra baffle stack on there for sound-wise isn't going to matter too much from the 9S to the 9. But the volume-wise and that extra baffle is where it's really going to stand out and shine when you see it on 300 Blackout, which was primarily one of the reasons why I got this, was for some of that subsonic stuff on that 300 Blackout pistol that I have. I really wanted something that would deal with that, so I didn't have to put a 30 cal can on it to get the best suppression. And anyway, I'm really happy with how it did in 300. So I went ahead and changed out the insert on this Bowers VERS 9 so we could go ahead and put it on our 300 Blackout. This is a 16-inch barrel. On this one, we're shooting the Suppressor brand ammunition from American Eagle. It's a federal product, and special thanks to them for sending out the ammo we're actually going to be shooting here. They sent out like last month or last year. I found a box laying around in the barn, so Some of that stuff we're going to be using here today is 220 grain subsonic. This is a 9mm can that, thanks to the volume and the baffle stack in here, is doing just as good, if not possibly better, than most 30 cal cans that we've put on our 300 Blackout shooting subsonic. That's pretty cool. So we've moved the VERS 9 over onto our 300 Blackout pistol. It's a 10.5-inch barrel. We're still shooting that American Eagle 220 grain subsonic ammo. Yes, there are no sights on this. We're gonna have no problem putting it into the berm. The berm's only like 20 feet away from where I am right here, right now. So no problem putting it into the berm even though there's no sights on it. The reason is I actually just installed this Geisley rail on here, this MK8 rail. This is a awesome rail. Anyway, we're gonna get the optics and stuff put back on there, but I wanted to get this on the short can on the shorter platform here for all of you on video rather than just talk about it, at least let you guys also hear it as well. So as you guys know, the shorter the barrel, the harder it is to knock some of those decibels down out of cans even with subsonic 300 Blackout. So here you go. Dimensionally, it is 1 3/4 inches around here. So decent full-size can. It mates out perfectly with this 1/4 circle 10 rail here that's cut for it. It just, I don't know, I think it looks fantastic and it belongs on here. This is exactly how I was hoping it would turn out. And when I built this has been in the pipeline for obviously several months here as it had to clear on a Form 4, and it took a little while for it to get approved. But as I was building this pistol up, this was exactly the can I thought that was going to live on here. So anyway, this thing comes in, depending on which mount, this uses the VERS Adapt mounts. So you're talking about anything from 1/2 by 28, 5/8 24, all the way 14 by 1 left hand. There's over 24 different adapters you can get on here. 3-lug, the Uzi barrel nut mount, the whole 9 yards. So anyway, depending on which one of those you put on here, it's going to weigh in nominally right around 18 ounces. And there's just a little bit of variant there depending on some of those more boutique adapters that you're going to put in there. But basically, we'll call it 18 ounces. And with that, you're going to cover everything from 17 HMR, 5.7 supersonic stuff through 5.7. 9mm obviously, which is rated for the full auto heavy volume, full volume, lots of sustained full auto. Basically 9mm fire is going to be in 9mm is that full auto rating. When we start getting into some of the other stuff, obviously, you know, you don't want to be dumping full auto 300 Blackout supersonics through here. You can shoot all the 300 supersonics you want through here, just, you know, I don't know anybody who would dump mag after mag after mag of supersonics through here, especially current pricing. But if you are, don't go nuts on it because the full auto rating is for 9mm. Anyway, all the way up, the top end of this is going to be 2,200 feet per second. So keep that in mind depending on what you're putting through here. Now, I know the wheels are turning in your head because as soon as I heard it, I had the same thought. What about like the new 9x39, right? Yes. Just keep it under 2,200 feet per second and you're going to be good. We're going to wind up having getting together with Mark Krebs and one of his new AKs chambered in that, and we'll wind up putting this on there. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead, hit that subscription, get the bell so you can get notifications, and we will be following up on this with another video in the future when we team up with him for that. Also, while we're talking about adapters, just because they make a VERS adapter for whatever various thread pitch it is, you know, over 24 of them, I want to say, that does not necessarily mean you can run this on anything that's threaded in that barrel. I know subscribers of the channel, people who follow us regularly, you guys all know that. I'm just saying this to get this out there as a pre-warning. Just because you could fit the adapter, just because you could fit this on, let's say, you know, 6.5 Creedmoor, don't do it. Right? Stick within those parameters that are in there. When you get it, there's a full listing of calibers and stuff like that for what you've got on here, and there you go. So Bowers also has some suppressor covers. These are their grip-tastic covers. Basically, it's a silicone that's rated for high temperatures, and we're going to put this on here. They actually make them for various sizes. You can use them in full power, 30 cal cans, everything else. But we're going to put this on here. I just wanted to show you guys the can here before we actually put it back on there, because we're going to be doing some mag dumps in a minute, and we're still testing this out. We may wind up doing a standalone video on these covers at some point in the future, but that'll probably be several months off. You'll see us running these on some various different cans going forward. If you're wondering what those are, that's what these are. Well, that was 31 rounds, not on camera. Oops. Anyway, I had done that to show that you could dump a 31 round mag through it, and with this grip-tastic cover, I can still hold on to it, and it's not burning my hand. Trying to touch this can without this, that'd be bad. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to use this in place of, you know, other personal protective equipment when you're dealing with hot silencers. But what this means is, generally speaking, accidental contact, stuff like that, you're not going to get insane burns. So anyway, sorry that 31 wasn't on camera. We'll go with another, yeah, this is the right mag. We'll go with another mag here, and we'll at least do that to dump those on top of this, and then see how she's still holding up. And while I'm remembering, since that other part wasn't on camera either, while this thing is warming up a little more after putting those rounds through it, that was 115 grain supersonic ammo, the bulk pack El Cheapo stuff, not subsonic or anything else. See, check it out. Right? So that's where the cover comes in. Anyway, we're going to continue to work on this. A big reason for having one of these covers also is mirage. Heat coming off of a hot suppressor, if they're like 30 cal can, shooting at long distances can completely obscure your target. So that's another great reason to have one of these, not just to avoid incidental contact, or in this case, purposefully touching it. I would not want to touch, you know, the exposed parts of the can right now. That would not be good. Anyway, while we're out here and we're on the subject of that, I've got some 147 grain rounds right here. These in normal standard pistol barrel are generally subsonic, but this is the first time actually putting them through here. These may or may not be supersonic out of this slightly longer barrel. We'll take a look and find out though. Or listen, I guess, technically. Yeah, they are. They do go supersonic out of this barrel, unfortunately. All right, so we're gonna zoom up on, well, maybe not zoom up, but we're gonna get a tighter picture here so that you guys can see the gas that is and is not. More importantly, the lower volume of gas is actually coming out of this ejection port with this VERS 9. So let's get in here nice and tight. Let you guys see this. All right, so there you go. From a shooter's perspective, blowback, stuff like that, greatly reduced with that. And still, it's warm, but you know, yeah, I can still grab hold of it if I need to. This is, that's pretty cool. There's just about everything we're going to take care of here in this video today. Still, even given it time to continue to radiate that heat through, I can still grab hold of this with this grip-tastic cover. Again, don't try this at home. Trained YouTube interwebs professional, because you know these things are still going to get hot, right? These cans underneath them are hot. These are going to get hot. The main point of this is incidental contact and mitigating things like mirage. But the fact that still here, after all those mags, we can still grab hold of this guy is pretty cool. Facebook.com/gun reviews. We'll have a lot of these links down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to have more video on this, and we're going to be bumping up our NFA content. We're going to get back to doing about one NFA item a month here on the channel, so I know there's a lot of you who enjoy those videos. We're going to step those up here coming into winter. Hopefully this video will drop before the end of September. It's probably going to drop the last day of September. We'll have another one coming up at least for the next 4 months. So definitely stick around for that, and Facebook.com/gun reviews, or at Instagram, we're at 13C Gun Reviews. You'll see some behind the scenes stuff that we don't post everywhere else. I won't spam you out on pictures or anything, but at the same time you get to see a little bit of behind the scenes stuff as well as we're coming up, and it lets you guys be able to ask those questions as you see some of this stuff pop up in real time. It builds into some of the videos we have, so we can cover some of those questions in the video, at least the most commonly asked ones. So it helps to get you guys a more fuller picture of what the, some of the information that you're looking for. Thanks again. Take care. Our newsletter, sign up for that if you haven't already. We do giveaways from time to time for people who are signed up through the newsletter. We do all our giveaways now through the newsletter. That way, because people who follow us on Full 30, on Gunstreamer, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever it happens to be. Everybody's got an email address, and that keeps it really easy. We won't spam you out on the email. We send maximum 1 email a week. Usually it's about one every 2 weeks. Lately here though, we've barely been getting out 1 a month, which is good for you guys. We won't spam you out, and yeah, so take care, stay safe. We have Patreon as well if you're interested in that, or just head over to the swag shop. It's one of the greatest ways you can support us. Head over to the swag shop, buy one of our unique patches, something like that, help support the channel, and get you something cool that you can't find anywhere else. Patriotic apparel from 1776 United. We'll have a link and a code down below. You can also get our channel shirts there as well. They've started hosting those. If you're interested in that, and our subscriber code 7613C will get you 15% off there. Thanks again to Silencer Shop for helping us with the transfer on this. We really appreciate it, and we'll put some links down there below as well. Check out that first pinned comment for that. Thanks. Take care. Stay safe. We'll talk soon.